Hello class, this is Dr. Fenton. In this video, I'd like to go through one of your homework problems. This problem is problem 1-24. It's one of your online Connect homework problems. First, I'll cover it in the Word solution manual format. And after I finish that, then I will cover it in the Connect version so you can see what that looks like. So let's get started. So I'll remove my video. And you can see the problem. The numbers you see in this solution are the same numbers that we have in the textbook. So if you turn to page 55, you'll see problem 1-24. They give you, first of all, a schedule of information. And the schedule they give us, this is not any kind of financial statement. It's not an income statement, not any kind of production statement. It's just, here are the numbers. I wanted to cover this problem because it covers a lot of the definitions that we had in the PowerPoint videos. Alright, first of all, in problem 1-24, requirement number 1, part A, it says what is the total product cost? So we know that product cost will be the materials, labor, and overhead. And they give us that in the problem on page 55. And you can see in the solutions on the screen, we have $69,000 in direct materials, we have $35,000 in direct labor, and we have $43,000 in total overhead. And this overhead is both the variable and the fixed overhead, because we're looking for total product cost, not just variable or fixed. All right, so again, these numbers are coming directly from your textbook on page 55. Part 1B, it says what is the total period cost? So the period costs are the costs incurred by the company that are not the product cost, not the manufacturing cost. So again, in your textbook, they show us that we have total selling expenses of $30,000 and total administrative expenses of $29,000, and that adds up to total period cost of $59,000. Now in Part 2A, what is the total direct manufacturing cost? It's important here to pay attention to every term they're using. Make sure you know whether they're asking if it's direct, indirect, variable or fixed, manufacturing or non-manufacturing, or period cost. So again, here they're asking, what is the total direct manufacturing cost? Well, the only direct manufacturing costs we have are two, direct materials and direct labor. That's what they're showing. So $69,000 in direct materials, $35,000 direct labor, for a total of $104,000 of total direct manufacturing cost. Part 2B, what is the total indirect manufacturing cost? Well, these are, of course, the overhead cost. So again, it's asking for indirect, not variable and fixed. So total indirect manufacturing cost will be all manufacturing costs, both variable and fixed. So add them both together, and so our total indirect manufacturing cost will be $43,000. In Part 3A, it asks, what is the total manufacturing cost? So the total manufacturing cost will be your direct materials, your direct labor, and all of your overhead, $147,000. That's the same thing we had in the very first answer. They're just asking the same question, just with different terms. So total manufacturing cost, all your materials, all your labor, and all of your overhead. Part 3B, what is the total non-manufacturing cost? So this will be really your period cost. So again, your total selling, your total administrative, and this will be your total non-manufacturing cost of $59,000. Part 3C, what is the total conversion cost and prime cost? By definition, conversion cost will be your direct labor and your manufacturing overhead. So we see that right here. Direct labor, all of your overhead, those are total conversion cost. Prime cost by definition are direct materials and direct labor. So they total to $104,000. So we can see that direct labor is in both of these, just by definition. Direct labor is part of conversion cost, and direct labor is also a prime cost. 4A, what is the total variable manufacturing cost? Total variable. So not just direct, but total variable. So direct materials and direct labor are always variable cost, always. So add those. Now we pick up just the variable manufacturing overhead cost, $15,000. So your total variable manufacturing cost will be $119,000. 4B, what is the total fixed cost for the company as a whole? Fixed cost, whether it's manufacturing, selling, or administrative, what are your total fixed costs? So just pick up the fixed cost portion of each of those. And again, those are given to you on page 55. That totals to $71,000. 4C, what is the total variable cost per unit produced and sold? Here, we're going to pick up the direct material cost. We're looking for production cost. The variable production cost, so total direct materials, total labor, total variable manufacturing. We add the variable selling and the variable administrative. The variable cost per unit produced and sold. So they want to pick up the selling cost and the administrative cost. That's what we've done. Picked up just the variable cost. They totaled to $135. We produced 1,000 units, so just divide. And so $135 is the answer. Again, this is the variable cost per unit produced and sold, not just produced, but your total for the whole company variable cost per unit. 5A, he wants to know the incremental manufacturing cost. So how much does it cost us to produce one more unit? What are the production costs for us to produce one more unit? Well, it's going to be the direct materials, the direct labor, variable manufacturing overhead cost, and all three of those added together then give us the total incremental cost. And if we incurred $119,000 to produce 1,000 units, the variable cost is $119, and that's also the incremental cost. So if we wanted to produce 1,001 units, 1,001 units, that extra 1 unit above this would be another $119. All right, so that's the last part of this problem. Let's look at the Connect version. The Connect version, it shows us same problem, different numbers. So same problem, different numbers, same questions. So go through the same thing we just did, and then you'll put your answers in like this. Requirement number 1, what is the total product cost? And so with these new numbers, total product cost will be the $84,000 in materials, $42,500 in labor, and $53,500 in manufacturing overhead. And you would type in $180,000. Your total period cost will be your selling cost in total and your administrative cost in total. So add these up, 39 plus 33,500, that gives you 72,500. So do the same thing for each requirement. Type in the answers as you get them. Requirement 3, again type in the answers, and 4 and 5. So you will have this same problem in Connect, but your numbers will be different. Okay, each of you, when you take this, you'll have different numbers. So if you need to, go back and look at the first part of the video where I showed you how to compute the solution in Word, and then this is how you enter the information in Connect. So I hope this helps. So good luck.